Hello, the channel. It's getting a bit boring now, isn't it? Just saying the same all the time. Anyway, that's intro. Welcome back, everybody. Big weekend coming up. Um, Looking forward to it. Loads happening. Loads of good divisions open. Celtic versus St Johnstone at home. Let's go. Let's go. So, quick review of what's happening just now. Midweek. Still got quite a lot running. Oh, there's a sneak peek of the teams for the weekend. Forgot about that. That wasn't even deliberate, by the way. That was not even deliberate. So, a few things ongoing midweek. Joey Veerman starting with a good score at Ibrox. Watched that game actually, PSV against Rangers. PSV look a right good team, to be fair. I'm not going to admit that Rangers are a right good team. Played off the park in a 2-2. That's a Celtic fan in me, obviously. But yeah, PSV played very well in that game, actually. Loads of possession, etc. So, Veerman started well. And Sorare Uruguay's team as well. Couple running. Not as many teams as normal, but hopefully Cap 270, etc. pulls through a bit. Some of them not started great, but it's one of those midweeks where you know 5 starters, a couple of good scores, could well win something. First thing to address is the elephant in the room. And when I say the elephant in the room, I'm not referring to my own weight. The Scottish whale need to go on a diet. Too much Guinness. So here we go. It's the new cards. What can we say about the new cards? I'm not really a fan of them, to be honest. I don't. I'm just not sure I like them. They're certainly a bit different. Design's different. I'm going to reserve my full opinion until we've got 3D cards, because obviously they've been designed to work slightly differently from the other cards, so maybe a bit unfair to completely judge them at the moment. One thing I would say is with the different colours, etc., even we like filter out the limited, etc., they're not, they're a different sort of colour profile, so this one's not too bad actually, but some of these ones, the detail on like the Asian cards, MLS cards, etc., I think stand out a wee bit better based on the dark mode as well. I mean, to be honest, like I don't know what's up unique wise just now. See if there's any comparisons, but this card here, this OTA card, you know, like that background, I love that. I think it looks really, really awesome. This monstrosity that's in the background. I mean, there's bits I like about the card. Obviously, this thing we've got the HNL, and you know, and it's a change, it's an evolution. But if you look at that POV card and you look at that Livakovic card, there's for me there's only one card that looks better there. If you look at the Wagner card, if you look at that design in the background with the MLS and everything on it, the way the card is outlined with the sort of light shading around the outside and stuff, that's just miles better than that Livakovic card. So, not a fan at the moment, but obviously, as Harry Kane would say, and I've already said, oh, Ryan Porteous, cards up. See how he goes. I don't like them, but maybe I'll buy some. Yeah, let's see what the 3D ones are like. But I don't think they're a good addition of cards. They certainly are a bit different, but there's various bits I like better on the other cards. And like even look at this Papi Matasar card. That's a belter. I just really like that design, the bit of the background. Anyway, I'll shut up now because this is a lineup builder. So what I've done here is firstly, Sorare Uruguay is going to pick the teams and go through. So I'm not going to go through all of his teams. What I'm going to do is talk about Celtic, talk about Challenger, and then after that, I'm not actually going to fire the team in. I'm going to let obviously him pick the cards and everything, and I'm going to show you what I've drafted for my own. Okay. First thing to really discuss in terms of Challenger is Fenerbahce 20, Ajax all the teams, so a lot of the teams who are playing in these big playoffs have had their games postponed this weekend. So the very first thing to point out is that if that is the case and you've got other teams here, you stand a far better chance of winning something in this division than you would do otherwise. You'll see why I'm referring to that later on. So when I'm picking this, I'm thinking about that. I can't even type Celtic. Obviously, had too many T's today. So you've got to think about that. That could hamper your own selections as well. So if you don't have good selections and you've got guys from 20, you've got guys from those teams or whatever, that could also cause you an issue. The other thing is, I think it's the last weekend before the season bonus goes, so unless the SPFL cards come before this weekend, then the 5% season bonus is still here. So look at this, Joe Hart, 17%. So he's not been very good recently, but it's St Johnstone at home, so St Johnstone's home. St Johnstone's form's really horrible. They've lost 2-0 first two games. They also lost 3 out of 4, I think, in the preliminary League Cup stuff, which is mainly against lower opposition, really struggling. Okay, Celtic had a poor result against Kilmarnock, but that was away from home. Kilmarnock played well. Difficult pitch. This one's at home. Celtic will want to bounce back. There's a couple of things to point out with Celtic. Alistair Johnson injured. Cameron Carter-Vickers injured. Don't know why Michael Wisden's showing up under Celtic here. Maybe just honorary member of the Celtic club. In terms of defence, you've got Greg Taylor and Ralston, I think, who are available. And also of the minted cards, Liam Scales, I think, we're playing out. I don't own Liam Scales. So yeah, I think the back four should be Ralston, Scales, Lagerbielke and Greg Taylor. But Alistair Johnson's in training, so we need to look out for using that, because if he's likely to start, then that would be a really good selection. So just let's put him in. I'm not actually going to even enter this team. Midfield wise, so I think Hatate's still injured at the moment. So I think you're looking at a midfield of McGregor, Matt O'Reilly, and probably Turnbull. So the last home game, Turnbull scored 2 goals, took a penalty. It was against Ross County. The only reason I've got him at 75% play sharper is because he didn't start the game away at Kilmarnock. Now, he did start the game away at Aberdeen and he didn't play very well. And then he's not started the game against Kilmarnock, but I think Rodgers will bring him back in here, mainly also because it's a game where Celtic need goals, want to go forward, score. Odin Holmes started against Kilmarnock, played okay, eventually get taken off. Obviously a poor performance as well. So I think he'll change it up and go back. And I think Callum McGregor picks himself. I think O'Reilly's been playing pretty well. Be surprised if he doesn't start him, especially with Hatate injured, and he's definitely not going to play Hatate. So in here you've got your choice. If you're playing caps, then David Turnbull is a very nice selection because he's a 42. And being on pens, etc., that's pretty crucial. Up front, I think there's only one selection here, Celtic-wise. It's got to be Furuhashi. Maeda's in good form as well, but St Johnstone will come and they'll probably be on the back foot, and that tends to mean that Maeda and Abada get less space, whereas last home game, Furuhashi was dropping off and actually got some assists as well. And then for the last place, in terms of the provisional selection, it's got to be Matt O'Reilly. When he's playing, he's on all the set pieces, etc. And the advantage is if he's not taking any set pieces, or if he doesn't take penalties, but Turnbull looks as if he's on penalties just now, then you've got the penalty taker there as well. So Alistair Johnson's a doubt. I think at the moment in play sharper, I've got Ralston in. So unless there's news that Johnson's fully available, that's going to be a tough call. You could just ignore that. You could pick up a Liam Scales really cheap, or you could just wire in Greg Taylor, who hasn't been playing very well, but again, this game really should be on the front foot. Again, in Challenger, there's a couple of things you need to be aware of as well. The rewards look fairly normal, but the amount of matches has been vastly reduced. So you still do have like Zenit with a good game, etc., but they've not been minted recently, so there's less available. The other thing to point out is in the limited star here, Um, have a look at this. There's some great players in here, but we've just released challenger cards. So if Sorare start dropping into this and they update this with Karim Kanate and all the new Croatian cards, etc., definitely be well worthwhile in terms of playing this division. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you have a strong challenger lineup this weekend, I think you should probably be playing it in challenger. So the first point of discussion here is this team. So this is a really interesting one because Jordan Larson, I don't think, will start. So you're saying, well, why the heck are you playing him in here? In this division last weekend, I've done my research, always do your research, there was 25 teams entered. The prize pool here is 4. The worst you can win is Super Rare Tier 2, $495, $715, 1,030, and there's a Star Super Rare up front. Now this is quite a restrictive pool, there's hardly anything in that pool, as you can see there. But although there's hardly anything in the pool, I think it might be refreshed. So if we do manage to get an updated prize pool, etc., there for the weekend, well worthwhile. Celtic have got the best fixture, I think, in terms of challenger for attacking and defending, both of them. So Gaza at this point will be sitting. Well, Gaza, you will be watching at some point, won't you? Saying butterfingers to Joe Hart. If you are, go into the video and comment, say butterfingers. You'll see a picture of Stovsky here as well. That's because I've only got Anthony Ralston Super Rare. So the problem with Vickers being out as well is that Vickers would be straight in there. And because we're going challenger here, some of the other uniques I've got available I can't play. So I might be taking quite a risk here in terms of Larson not coming off the bench or not getting a decisive, etc. But if 4 of these guys smash, then it could well be a guaranteed podium. The alternative to that is All-Star Unique. There'll be lots of different teams in the All-Star Unique that won't be affected as much by Challenger. In the Challenger Europe Super Rare, still gives me the chance of running without the defensive side of things. So Nick College, Junior Alonso, both been playing well, both do well generally. There's out Kalmak, Furuhashi and Maeda. McGregor's not been playing as well, but I think in this game we'll really be on the front foot. I think there's a chance that he might get involved in some sort of decisive as well, especially because there's been a wee bit of criticism about how we're playing, and he is a leader and he tends to want to take the bull by the horns from that point of view. Furuhashi captain, I think he'll do well in that game. All-Star Super Rare, so I've divided things up here. I could obviously play, saying obviously again, why have I turned into Harry Kane? He's away to Germany. Shut up, Mark. Allison and Andy Robertson are away at Newcastle. That's going to be a difficult game. So I could run that and then put in Matt O'Reilly and Furuhashi, etc., and play an All-Star Unique. But I just think there's a better chance of getting a star card by playing the cards in the Challenger. So I'll keep an eye on that, see how many teams people have entered and things, but I think this still looks strong. So if Liverpool do manage to sneak a result, or even if they're under pressure and Alisson does a good base and Andy Robertson gets a goal or an assist, then we've got Kokchu, Cezinha, quite a good home fixture, Jeju are a bit leaky, and Riku Puig. And they're under 23 guys, but again, I'm putting in a good team to All-Star Super Rare. Challenger Europe Rare Pro, so there's a focus on Challenger again here. These guys, Matt O'Reilly, what can I say, on set pieces, I'm expecting a big score from him this weekend. I just think he'll put up a good base in this game, and also I'm expecting or hoping that he'll get a decisive as well. I could run these guys in the under 23 Pro as well, but because there's such a limited amount of the big teams playing in Challenger, I think this is really a weekend to focus on this division. So the advantage of this lineup here is if they all smash, is I don't think anyone will have this combination. Or if they do have this combination, then Matt O'Reilly's XP is going to absolutely hammer them because it's the very first one. So he's going to be the captain. Dougie Santos may well be the highest score for Zenit. There's no Malcolm or anything there now, although Wendell's back. So he's definitely a danger. and then we've got the young guys there as well, and we're maxed out because we've got 2 super rares. Under 23 Rare Pro's been compromised slightly because these other guys are playing in other divisions, but I've still managed to get O'Reilly and Abada in here because I think they both do well. Ivan Diouf, excellent goalie. Saliba started the season in fire, really good. Home game as well, so hopefully keeps up that form. And Nicholas Madsen always putting in good scores. Mechelen are a strange team. They play very well at home. Sometimes they really hammer teams at home, but I think that Madsen should put up a good base here and hopefully gets one of those penalties or picks up a decisive in that game. Challenger Europe Rare. So at this point, I've run out of Joe Hart rare cards, which might do me a favour some point if Celtic buy another goalie or if he leaves at the end of the season. But yeah, I'm going with Safanov in here, being in good form. Greg Taylor, as I was discussing earlier on, I think he's the most nailed starter of the defenders. Ralston's really nailed to play if Johnson's not fit, but he's in training, so he might not be far away. Using David Turnbull here because I don't have infinite amounts of Matt O'Reilly, although I wish I did. And Furuhashi in Maeda. So that's a kind of team that's focusing more on attacking prowess, and Joe Hart is one of his butterfingers moments, as you call it, Gaza. Then, Safanov could save the day or could act as a differential. Under 23 Super Rare, Ivan Diouf, we just discussed. Valentin Gomez has been really good recently. Vela's moved to a sort of a better defensive system, I think, or he's been playing in a good position. Christian Medina, Boca have got a lot of games, so I'll need to review this because Boca are playing midweek, I think, as well, from memory, so they may well put out a rotated team, so be careful there. Koki Saito was back in at the weekend. Wee bit average game, but he's capable of much better, and that was him just back after injury. And Linus Gector is now getting a game for Hertha, and it's obviously, as Harry Kane would say, not why I keep saying that, shut up. He's in the Bundesliga too, in Bayern, in Germany, in München, in the second division. Kickoff unique. Samuel Suarez are fired in here because there is some conjecture that he might keep his place just now to ease Trubin in. I think Benfica are trying to sign a second goalkeeper and get rid of Odysseus and fell out with him and all that type of stuff. Other guys kind of speak for themselves, and it's kickoff unique, so the captain a unique here, and being a second division type guy, Tanaka doesn't really help any of my other teams, although I could run him in the All-Star Super Rare, but I'm running Robbo in there with Allison. Champion America Super Rare is one I don't always play, but this allows me to actually play it. Canales started really well, which is brilliant. Monterrey played a weakened team in the third place playoff, so they should be well rested because they're already qualified for the continental type competition. Pavon was suspended last game. Johnny Russell's Johnny Russell. And this allows me to avoid picking Panico or Joe Willis because I just don't know who's going to play there. Cap 270 and 240. So you see the selections there. They were sort of later picks, although Big Felipe, I think, pretty sure he's back and he's really good on form. All-Star Rare Pro is one I really like. Now again, people say, why are you only running one Super Rare? Well, I've got lots of Super Rares, but I don't want to run a crap Super Rare that's realistically not going to outscore Carles Gil if Carles Gil goes big. So you run a Super Rare does 45, you add on the extra 20%, that's like 53 or whatever, and Carles Gil does an 80. So I've maxed this out in terms of like guys who I think are obviously really good. I don't know why I keep saying obviously. Can't even bother going back and cutting that out. Just shut up. I'm going to take a drink of my tea here and compose myself. Jeez. So, Messi does what he says in the tin. Been absolutely superb. I think they've won every game since he's been there. And he said they're decisive in every game as well. I think against New York, he'll get some joy. Carlos Gil's in training. Hani Mukhtar's Hani Mukhtar. Atlanta, probably a good team at home, but they're not the best defensively, and Eduardo's got a great fixture against Yokohama Light, as I call them. So we get the Marinos against Yokohama Light. Hatanaka's done his ACL, so he's definitely going to start if he's fit as well. All-Star Rare, Panda, Ba, James Maddison. I need to check on him. I'm not sure if he's definitely fit. Need a wee knock, so I'll double check on that. On set pieces as well. Tottenham played very well last weekend. Really good result. Cezinha, again, does what he says in the tin. I think he did like 85 last game. This could easily be a game he goes huge. And Jonas Hoffman looked excellent at Leverkusen. Under 23 rare, Lawal, just really looks as if he's nailed his place, touchwood. Malik Theo, been playing for Milan as well. Phil Foden, really good to see him getting some game time. Jamal Musiala's just done his hammy, so that's a pain in the ass. So we're going to have to change him out. Doku's moved to Man City. That's a huge move, that. Absolutely huge. I was tempted by John Tolkien here, but playing against Inter Miami, who are in good form, I'm not really so sure about that. So Zobazlai was excellent last weekend. Again, Newcastle away. Who am I going to put in the last position here? It's good to have choice, but sometimes it can be a pain in the ass as well. Well, it's not a pain in the ass. Shut up. It's a good position to be in. I'll review this, but I think we would put in Rodrigo. Real Madrid look pretty good. And Amin is at home against Le Havre, who were actually quite good defensively in League 2, but this is League 1 and Rennes are good at home and everything. So I think between Guri and Phil Foden, there you go, Phil Foden, captain. With Rodrigo in there. So that's a shame, Musiala, but there we go. All the big champion cards that I buy either seem to do their ACL, go to Saudi Arabia or otherwise, so I guess it is what it is for that point of view. Second Division Rare Pro, that actually looks quite a good team, but Che Adams might be on the move. I don't have any other good forwards there, so not a huge discussion point. Bazuno's been pretty rotten so far, but Southampton at home, hopefully get a wee clean sheet soon, or maybe he'll make some saves. Obviously been watching Joe Hart. Champion Europe Rare Pro. So Ederson, I've got John Stone Super Rare, but he's out at the moment, so unless he's definitely available, I can't pick him. The Zazie started pretty well for Chelsea in good home game against Luton, so I think that's an interesting one. I'll keep an eye on the predictions, but I think he's played the last 2 games, so I'm hoping he keeps his place. Max Arnold was ill. Hopefully he's not ill now. Mo Salah is Mo Salah. Now, I know it's a hard game against Newcastle, but he's a big game player as well, and you can only captain a rare in this. And Akanji, again, it's one of those, is he going to play, is he not going to play? But if John Stones is out, etc., then I'd imagine he probably will play. So that's the initial draft. Champion Europe Rare. So we go for Alisson and Virgil here. Could mix it up a bit and not go that type of combination, but with running Alisson and Robbo, then if the result goes in my favour, I think Virgil, he duels well, should do well there. Gundogan's card I picked up looked really good for Barcelona against Cadiz and put in a big 100, but put in a really good base. Villarreal were kind of hit and miss team, so expect Barcelona to do reasonably well in that game. And Martinelli and Odegaard home against Fulham should be up for it. And Odegaard took the last penalty, so that's not brilliant news for Saka, but good news for Odegaard. Champion Asia Rare Pro, so going with a sort of mini stack of Sanfrecce. Maybe one of these days they'll have a good game, you'll never know. I don't know. Champion Asia Rare is not really a main focus. Champion America Rare Pro, Legit, Montez, Canales. I'd like to play Joe Willis or Panic or whatever in here. We just need to see that situation settle down a bit. I'm not really sure who to pick. Cap to 40 Rare. So Luis Maximiano's just moved. He was doing okay, I think, against Real Madrid, and then the error led to goal, which seems to really muck him up out in terms of his debuts. But they've paid a good amount for him. I think they'll stick with him. Cadiz, not the best team, and he's a cap cost of like 16. So as I do sort of fill this out, so Theo Bongonda, superb. I can't believe they left him out against Zenit. That's just weird. Huge game. He's been banging every game and they leave him out. It's mad. Guilherme Arana doing good scores at home, hitting a good base. Matt Weaver been doing really well too, and a good home fixture. And Tom Hay, real interesting one. It's part of a decent team, but Tom Hay has been rumoured with some moves, so that's one I'm going to have to keep a close eye on because although he's really good, really reliable, a guy who you can put in as a high cap cost to go with Maximiano, the issue is he might be on the move, I hear. And then we've got some other caps in here as well. Cap 220 is probably a fun one. Canpolat's just sort of broken in for Pendixpor, so actually he looks as if he's Kazim Pasa, but he's now the goalkeeper for Pendixpor. I think it's Pendixpor. That's Pendixpor. Bogdan Mikhailichenko just moved to Dynamo. Hopefully he nails that left back spot. Rijeka, a pretty good team overall, but Zagreb are at home, losing a few players well, Satalo, etc. going. Billy Gilmore played the last game, really good base. Zabalas always capable of high score, and Neto against Everton, who've looked pretty rotten. So there we go. That's the teams. The biggest discussion point is really when we're going to put all these uniques, which is a brilliant problem to have. What a fantastic problem that is to have. It's amazing just to have really good uniques like this. So I always said if I was moving up, we'll have really good ones and stuff. So hopefully timed that pretty well. So that's looking kind of the favourite to start. But the only problem is I don't have a replacement for Jordan Larson. I really do think he'll be rotated. But, it's a decision based on the fact that there's only 7 teams entered just now and there's 4 prizes which are at worst tier 2 super rares, and there's a podium available, and there's no Fenerbahce, there's no 20, there's no Ajax, all that type of stuff. So there's a big focus on Challenger. So if you have Celtic cards, etc., this is the weekend for you. You get limited cards and they don't have a high XP, then there's going to be tons of limited teams in, so maybe think about a differential in there as well. Just like I've done with Challenger Europe Rare here with Safanov, although it's just because I don't have any more Joe Harts and these are the teams. So before the weekend starts, I'll have Sorare Uruguay selections. He's going to do them in the community building, and I'll fire them in. If I've got time, I'll maybe do a quick video showing the final selections and stuff. I might not have, and I've got something on Friday as well. So this might be the lineup builder, but hopefully that gives people some guidance for the weekend. Best fixture of the weekend, Celtic against St Johnstone. Have I said it? I'll say it again. I think we'll murder them. I think it's general consensus as Celtic will really be on the front foot, hopefully keep a clean sheet. But even if we don't, then I think teams are quite well set up to still win something, and keep a wee eye out as well and see what happens with these new cards. I don't mean looking at them because I don't like them, so don't want to look at them, don't look at them. I'm not looking at them, but I should shut up now. They might be nice in the 3D. We'll get the glasses out and you're in the cinema and stuff, and you get the red thing on and stuff, and your things are jumping out at you and everything. Maybe that's the intention. Who knows? Could be innovative. But yeah, they could be available to win this weekend. So I'm going to be keeping an eye certainly on what's happening with these prize pools in terms of availability of the cards, and if there's guys like Karim Kanate and everything in there, well, if I win one and I don't like the look of the card, that's fine. Good player. So that'll be the strategy. So that's initial selections. Good luck everyone for the weekend. Still plenty of time to check things. Keep an eye on Play Sharper. Any updates in there, I'll put that on the Celtic side. Keep an eye on Play Sharper in general. And we'll end in customary fashion. Good luck and go fuck.